Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you? I hope you are doing well today. We've got another episode of Project Joy Live coming up for you in just a few moments here. And I'm so thrilled that you've chosen to start your day here with us. Let's be real. The internet is full of advice on how to have a successful morning. Get up at 5 a.m., meditate, journal, drink lemon water, work out. Don't touch your phone. Do touch your phone. Do this. Don't do that. It can feel overwhelming. And honestly, it can make you feel like you're doing things all wrong before you even finish your first cup of tea. But here's the truth. There is no one size fits all recipe for a joyful morning, but I do have a tip on what can start your day off on the right foot. So join us now for an all new episode of Project Joy Live. I've got a special guest co-host today. Teresa Warren from Spirit Sessions is here, and it all starts right now. Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this 9 a.m. Eastern Time hour. I hope you are feeling the joy this morning. And if not, maybe you're a person that struggles with mornings a little bit. I hear from people all the time. I'm not a morning person, Jessica. And I feel like there might be a reason for that. So we're going to dive into a little bit of that today, because the truth is, as I said in the intro, there's no one size fits all recipe for a joyful morning. The art of a joyful morning isn't about checking off someone else's list. It's about creating a space that sets you up to feel good, to feel centered, and ready to meet the day ahead in your own way. So we're going to talk about that today with my very special co-host that's here today. Teresa Warren is back in the green room. She is the host of Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light, and I'm excited to have her on the show here today because Teresa is a morning person like me. So we have that in common, and we're going to talk about that coming up here shortly. If you're joining us live or on the replay, I'd love for you to comment down below where you're joining us from, and of course, what is bringing you joy today. That's a little bonus secret before we get into the segment. I always start my day thinking about something that brings me joy, and today I'm thinking about a lot of things. We are officially 2 days out from 90s Con, you guys. The house is buzzing with excitement. You guys. My girls are so excited. They are they've got their outfits picked out. I've got my spreadsheet done. We're ready. We're excited. And we're going to be meeting the cast of 90210, Saved by the Bell, the incredible music group Wilson Phillips, AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys, Lacey Chabert from Party of Five. You might also recognize her from Mean Girls movie. And who else? Oh my God, the Lawrence brothers are going to be there. The cast of Scream. Listen. We're so excited. We're getting pumped up over here. I'm also really enjoying my coffee that my daughters brought into me this morning in a very well-branded cup, I might add, over here. Okay. I was given this as a gift a few years back. And so it's nice to bring it out every now and then and be branded from head to toe. here. I've got my bright pink on today as well because a 90s con is coming, but also because my co-host today was wearing some bright colors and I was like, we have to match because we did not match. So I went to go get my bright pink shirt for today, just so we could be like, look it, we're going to match the background and everything. It's amazing what's happening here today. All of that being said, we need to have a joyversation today. Should we? Let's do it. All right, joyversation is joy meets conversation. It's a great way for us to bring some joy into our lives by embarking on a conversation together to get to know each other. And today's question, I didn't even have to think on this one, you guys, but the question is, would you rather live in a city with 1 million people or in a small town with 10, and why? My immediate answer is a small town with 10. And the reason why is because I can easily travel to a bigger city if I want the vibe of that. I would never want to be stuck in one or the other and not be able to go visit other places. So I'll say that. But I think I would like more privacy more often, because I feel like if you lived in a bigger city, I don't know, it might be more challenging you'd really have to like go away to get away, if that makes sense. Whereas, like, if you're in a smaller town, you could travel to a bit bigger city if you wanted that vibe. And that's sort of the reason why I live in southeastern Connecticut here, because it's kind of suburbia in this area, though we do live in a smaller city where we're at here. But if I want that vibe, I'm literally 2 hours from Boston, 2 hours from New York City, and so I can get that if I want it. And I'm also very close to the shoreline. I'm very close to country sort of living. And so that's my answer. I'm gonna go with the small town, and then I can go visit the bigger city if I need that vibe. Okay. So I want to know what your answer is. Put it down in the comments as we do a quick break. And when we come back, Teresa's going to be here and we're going to talk about the art of a joyful morning. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Project Joy Live, and welcome Teresa. Good morning.
Good morning. Blessings and love.
Look we're all in the bright color. If you did not feel joyful already, you could just look at the screen and see all the bright colors and the smiling faces, and that'll take you there.
I hope so.
That's it.
I hope so. It works for me.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so before we get into our topic, what is your answer to our joyversation question today? Would you rather live in a city with 1 million people or in a small town with 10, and why?
I would rather visit a city with 1 million people and have a small town of 10 with a few other small towns not so far. Because if you think about the size of the family, the kids, the grandkids, okay, that's going to be more than 10. So
we are a small town of 10.
yeah, I'm already a small town. And I looked at where I live. I live in Erin, Tennessee. And in 2020, we had 1,324.
Oh, that's really small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many's here. Now I'm curious. Okay, go ahead, Teresa. Tell me more about it while I look this up.
We do have our own Piggly Wiggly.
Well, there's that.
And it takes about 50 minutes to get anywhere. Like if you want to do any like real shopping or Walmart or Kroger's or anything at all, Target, that stuff's all like right. Real close to an hour away. But I like it.
Right.
We got a creek out there in the backyard and it's the greatest. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, I didn't realize there was that few people where you live, though. So apparently where we live now, these are based on 2023 numbers. So it's going to be a little bit more now, most likely. But where we live has 27,000 people. in New London, Connecticut here. And then, but for reference, New York City in 2023 had over 8 million.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, I will take my 27,000 over the 8 million. Can you think of any reasons why, like, maybe a small town of 10 people wouldn't be so fun?
Well, cold, dark nights. I mean, when you need a rescue, you're going to want a team around that you can rely on. Out here, that if you do call 911 out here, you're going to get a volunteer.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've been trained. Hopefully it's not your neighbor, because it's like, you know what I mean? So I think having a team that you could rely on. And then, like I said, the shopping, you can go to the city and come back. But when there's trouble and you're out there, you are a little cut off from supplies until it gets there. So you got to be self-reliant, I guess, self-sufficient.
Yeah, I could see that. And the other thing I thought of is, like, even in our tiny town, in our house here, with so many people, everybody's kind of in everybody's business. And so I don't think I would necessarily, like, if it was a town, if I'm in this town of 10 people, I would need our houses to be kind of far apart. So
yeah, we're not talking about the town size, only the population, right?
Right. It needs to be small population, big town, houses far apart.
Yeah. I'll take little yurts. I think those are cute all around.
I love it. Well, our topic today is the art of a joyful morning. So when I told you about what the topic was, what were some of your initial thoughts about that?
My first thought I used to have the hardest time waking up in the morning. I would wake up actually downright self-loathing and hateful. And that's what I would do and until I started on this path. And then I started the affirmations and all the other things I do. And I have a pattern that I really love. You know what I mean? But it's good to change a pattern too now and then. And so you can come back to it, you can go away from it, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And so at what point did that change for you? At what point did you go, hey, maybe I am a morning person now?
Well, I think it comes as a reflection as I look back, and it's like, oh, wow, I haven't been that way to myself in a long, long time. So I look at it as more as progress. I don't remember the day, but what it was is this started back in California, and I was all a mess back there. And the only two things I had was I listened to these CDs that I had, one of Cryon, channeled through Lee Carroll, and one of Abraham Hicks. And both of them have empowering words to say. And it was kind of neat coming from a male voice, coming from a female or whatever for me. And it was my background while I was working out and exercising and drinking more water and doing my stuff. I would be listening to that content. And actually, I take notes sometimes and I write down the affirmations. And I created quite a stack of affirmations over the years. and I used to read them every day as part of my routine. And then came to the point where my spirit guides are like, okay, that was good. Let's do other things. And then that's when I started my Reiki ball that I sent it to all my loved ones and friends and the whole world and stuff. So once you have a pattern, you can shift it around and things. And then if the needs come up, like, oh man, I find myself critical so much lately. Well, shift your pattern to reflect what you recognize now. The journal work, the affirmations, the EFT. Oh my God, we got so many toys that we could play with to help us out. It's lovely.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's interesting because as I think about this, I've always sort of been a morning person for, like, I don't know. I never sleep well, and I'm like, got to get up in the morning because something great's going to happen the next day. I don't know what I've always been a Christmas morning kind of person. But I think my idea of what a morning routine is supposed to look like has shifted over time, because I remember as a child, I don't know a lot of kids who like desperately want to go to school. They might want to go to school for a certain thing, but not necessarily for like math class or whatever. And so I remember at that time as a child, morning routine, looking like lay out your clothes, eat breakfast, make sure you get your backpack on. And it was almost like having a routine for something you didn't really want to do. So I think as a child, sometimes our morning routines can get a little bit of a bad taste, to put a bad taste in our mouths about what a morning routine is supposed to look like, because we're preparing for something we might not necessarily want to go to yet or do. And so that shifted for me when I became a teenager. After my grandfather had his stroke, my grandmother had created a morning routine for herself. And I didn't really put the pieces of that together until more recent years. But she would go in the formal living room, the living room that you only go in when it's like Christmas or someone dies. She would go in the formal living room, and she had her like prayer box on the table. She would do her stretches that the doctor gave her to do. She would pray the rosary, and she would look in her prayer box for like all of her names that she would write down of people to pray for. And then she would get her coffee, and she would wash her face, and like she would have this sort of routine. And that was the first time I remember consciously seeing someone doing a set routine that they wanted to do. And so that had such a big impact on me as well. Did you have any like examples of morning routine at all, or have you just sort of created it yourself?
I mostly created myself in all kinds of ways. And even talking about the school days with my own kids, knowing that mornings was that time where the fights, the pulling of the hair out, the mornings are rough. Oh my God, we just got to get this done in 10 minutes and out of here or whatever. Well, so I guess my therapist asked me, well, what's the roughest part of the day for you? Well, the morning. Okay. So that's when I started working on the mornings. And then I helped back then, Anthony, pick out the clothes for the week ahead. Okay. We're not going to waste 10 minutes every morning making those decisions. Let's spend one Sunday evening. And if something comes up, it's cool. If we got to like, oh, it's Spirit Day, you got to wear jammies. It's okay. We'll replace Thursday or Friday with the jammies. It's all easy, and we don't have to think about it and panic. And then just setting other things up like that. So I really think the pattern is a good thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree too. And Joanne's joining us this morning. She said, I have been a morning person for as long as I can remember. Mornings are much better, though, when you don't hate your job. And I think that feeds into what I was talking about. A morning routine can feel really daunting if you don't like what it is that you're about to, what you're preparing yourself for. I don't need to give myself a pep talk anymore about getting through the day now that I am remote. I always hit the floor running, but now I can ease into it on my terms. And that's a huge thing. So what's a joyful morning really? I think it's important to define joy versus productivity, because joy doesn't always equal busyness.
For sure.
And sometimes, it's that quiet, peaceful moment. It is doing something that fills your cup in some kind of way. So what does a joyful morning feel like for you?
Okay. It's always very, very personal. I am so tuned inward because I get up, between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning, thanks to the kitty.
Yeah, you're more of a morning person than me. I am not up though last night I was up at 3:00, but that's another.
Oh yeah. So yeah, those are sweet moments, those early morning hours, and so I am turned totally inward. I mean, the first thing, I take care of myself, I take care of the kitty, and then we step outside into the darkness. Ooh, you know how good that feels? And with that creek right there, I can listen and hear the sound of that creek. And then I tune into all the trees, and I try to ignore the pollen, okay? Because right now there's all that. And I tune into the trees. I tune into the kitty's heartbeat and my heartbeat. And the stars, if sometimes it's clouds. And so what I can, so that moment there, which is within 15 minutes of when I get up, I'm grounding and I'm centering my energy, and I'm still turned inward. And so when I come in and I deal with myself all day long, I am working on my things, not on purpose, like, oh, I'm working, work. No, it's the inside joy. I'm finding my joy inside. I'm finding, oh, look at how that makes sense. I'm so glad I saw that today. You know what I mean? I am in just a beautiful wonderland. And I kind of like that. And then the sun comes up. And then I kind of have to reestablish myself again because I have the magical mornings. We work out together. Part of my workout is doing my affirmations, which are personal to me. And actually they're personal to the astrology and stuff going on. And it's beautiful. So to me, a morning of joy is where I do get to be and spend all that time with myself and feel good. Then I'm ready to go.
I love that. It sounds like it's a very internal time for you, and I feel that way with myself also because it's quiet in the morning. My kids are not up yet. A lot of you guys know that I homeschool, so I'm with everybody all the time. And so that moment in the morning when it's just me, like it's so nice. And I haven't gotten that in the last couple of weeks because I've been sharing Teresa behind the scenes. I have really struggled with this time change, this go round. This has never been my favorite time change, which has sort of made me a rebel among people that I know, because so many people that I'm connected with love the fall time change or love this time change because they get an extra hour of sunlight in the evening. I don't care about that. I want my time
Yeah.
in the morning. So I'm so tired right now, and I've really been struggling. Like, I still feel very much like a morning person because I find so much joy in the morning, but I'm not getting that extra alone time right now because I'm just struggling to catch up. And I've heard that from a lot of people actually right now, even people like my husband who love this time change. He's struggling too right now in the morning. So what can we do about this? Like, we might feel I sort of want to like bust that myth a little bit that just because we're tired in the morning that somehow makes it not joyful either. You know, like
Oh,
I want to sort of blow that out of the water a little bit because I think that's where so many people, for lack of a better phrase, go wrong, is they feel tired in the morning and then they proclaim, well, I'm not a morning person. Well, what happens when we proclaim that?
yeah. You
It
reinforce.
doesn't start us off on a good foot for the rest of the day.
No, no, no. I do have a chronic tiredness myself,
Mm.
and I can let it get to me because I've got ideas and I want to move and I'm too tired, and I have gotten really depressed about it. But in the end, what's so depressing about it? It just means I got to do things a little bit differently and take care of myself more. Oh man, how
Yeah.
sad. You know what I mean? And so I give myself the time, and I don't give up just because I'm tired. It's like, okay, I know when I'm this kind of tired, I can still do this kind of work. Or when I'm this feeling, I can do that. And so I like to have all my different things. So whichever mood I'm in, I can go for it and still feel like me.
Right. Right. I think it's important though to bust through different myths like that. Like, if you're tired in the morning, that automatically makes you not a morning person, or if you stay up late, you're automatically not a morning person. And I also think it's important to like debunk sort of popular routines and toxic comparisons that we get into. I know a lot of people, and for the longest time, I was a follower of the miracle morning. And they tell you like the specific time to get up and specific things to do that it's going to make your miracle morning. And there's this sort of pressure when you join communities like that. And then if the time doesn't resonate with you, if the activity doesn't resonate with you, you start to feel like, well, I'm broken. Maybe I'm not doing something right. And so I think it's important. Um, you know, it's, social media itself can skew what success looks like before we even get to 9 a.m. Like, it just there's so many things like that we can get sucked into that can lead us on this road of comparison that's not really healthy for us to have a joyful morning.
No, I wouldn't say comparison, not like that. No, I like my internal stuff better. No, in feeling like that and tuning in. But but to speak to the part about tiredness doesn't exclude the joy or a lot of things. I don't see them as separate. I know you're talking about this the other day, and I've played with these things in dangerous ways just to find out. Okay, I gotta know. I used to have this regular routine back in California where I did that yoga that I do every morning. Okay,
Yeah.
every morning. And then like I might be crying my eyes out and I'll throw myself on the floor and do my yoga anyway. But one day I'm hearing that everybody says there's a happy spot inside. I don't. I'm crying. I'm wanting to harm myself. I don't have that. But there I am. I'm doing my yoga and I'm thinking about that and I found it. No way. No way. I'm going through this and that. So it started this conversation in me when I found that happy space. But that's part, the only time I've ever gone to this part, and it was sad and crying, was when I was looking in the mirror and saying mean things to myself. And that's the only time this part inside of me has been sad. So I don't, just because I'm tired, don't mean I have to be sad. Just because the tire's flat. Yeah, I could be bummed out. I could be mad, but I could be pretty happy too. So
it's the and, and we talked about this on Project Joy on Monday, and I highly recommend, if you did not watch Monday's episode, please go back and watch it, because it talks about the heart of our theme for this last couple of years on Project Joy, which is that you are the joy. So if you are the joy, if that's the key, if that's the concept, and our job is to choose whether or not we tap into that knowing, right? Then joy already exists with everything else. So I shared on Monday that for me, joy is about alignment. It's not always happy faces and lack of tears and everything's perfect. That is not joy. Joy is an alignment and a choice to tap into that, knowing that I am the joy. And so that'll be a huge part in what I talk about here in just a moment. And see, Sarah's here this morning. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. And it's beyond a mindset for me, that what we talk about here on this show is you are the joy. The mindset is a nice benefit. It's a nice thing that helps us to tap into the joy that is us, that already exists within us. But it's just another thing, because if we say it's a mindset, it's a routine, it's a belief, then that still is placing it outside of us in some kind of way. So if we go back to that, knowing that we are the joy, then it exists. And when the tire's flat, there's still joy. Yeah. And when we're feeling sad, there's still joy there, and so it's such an important part of what we talk about here. And I think that it's important to start there, to go, okay, I am the joy. But I'll talk about more of that in a minute. So what are some of I know you talked about affirmations. You mentioned that we do the gym together. Is there any other things that you do that are like essential activities for your morning?
Yes, because, okay, and this is still also speaking to how individual our routines can be and how they can change when we need them to. Okay. Because if somebody else is telling me how to do this, I can't do none of this, and I'm not going to feel the benefit. It all comes from within me. Now, the other essential things that I do for me is right after I do the workout, I give myself some self-Reiki, and that heals so many things with me. And then I send it out to others through me too, like a proxy thing. And then I do self-massage. Now, self-massage is a way that we embody self-love, because I'm not just massaging a hand. I'm not just massaging my left hand. It's like, oh, you've been with me. You're my friend. And thank you. How are you doing today? Same with the feet. You know what I mean? I don't ignore them. I mean, they're a part of me. They help me do all that fancy disco steps during our gym time, And so, hey, thank you for helping me keep up. And I do all this, and it helps me embody. I do massages. And this, I think that this thing I've been doing with the massaging kept me from having any allergies last year. I mean, I think
and it feels so good. Like,
yeah.
I'll sit there sometimes too and do some of the self massage things after my workout, and it just feels so nice to just pay attention to yourself for a minute and like tune into your body. Now my face is gonna be all red because I'm over
the
here
natural
brushing.
yeah.
It's my blush, guys.
And then when I'm in that state, so see, my body's been worked out, and then it's been pampered. My heart is open, and then that's when I go and I read the affirmations, and I EFT tapping while I do it, because I want this to be strong. I could write them down 25 times each, and things. There's different things you can do, and I've done these things, but right now it just works with, while I'm tapping, I go through each one of them twice, because I have 5 affirmations I like to do, and then I switch them out each week. So those are the other essential things, getting the water started, and things like that.
Yeah, 100%. So, and Teresa mentioned that we meet in the gym in the mornings, and it has been, I think 262 days as of today. There's a little counter now that I've added to the bottom of the gym with the little strong arm emojis, which is so cute. And so I get up in the morning, and there's a lot of, so when we go back to like customizing things for you, there's so many morning routines that tell you not to look at your phone first thing in the morning. It's the first thing I do because it honestly brings me so much joy. And it goes back to what Joanne was talking about. When you love what you're doing in your life, like if you love your job you're going to, if you love the things you're filling your time with, that brings me an incredible amount of joy to wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is look at my calendar and go, oh, look at all I get to do today. Like, look at all I get to be a part of. And that really lights me up. Now, if you hate what you're doing currently during the day, then maybe looking at your calendar first thing is not a smart idea for you, or maybe it is. Maybe you could just shift your mindset a little bit, like Sarah was talking about, and look at your calendar and go, what could I fill this in with? Like, what's the possibilities that could be on my calendar today? But we do have, so I look at my calendar. I always like, do my bathroom stuff with my teeth and, brush my hair, whatever else. And then I love, and we've been doing this for the last, I want to say I have been there almost every day for the last 3 years. I'm reading Dorothy's poem.
Oh, yeah.
So, our For Love Intention time, which now has, since Dorothy passed away, it's takes place in our virtual community in the room that's dedicated to Dorothy. And Dorothy wrote the For Love poem, which I think I have here, and I think I could play it for you guys on break if you hadn't heard it. Yes, I have it. And so we come in the morning. It's literally like 5-6 minutes. That's it. Come in, say hello, set our intentions for the day. Where do we want specifically to focus this love that we're sending out? We read Dorothy's poem together in our own mother tongue, our respective languages, and then to have a moment of silence to just rest in that intention and then say our goodbyes. And that routine was started by Dorothy after she wrote the poem originally when the terror attacks happened in Brussels, Belgium. And then when the war in Ukraine started, that's when she started the daily poetry readings. And so when Dorothy passed away, we wanted to continue that. And so we've been doing it ever since. And so you're always welcome to join us for that. The tricky part, and I shared this, I shared this on Beyond 2D last night, is that it's 1 p.m. Brussels time, and they change time different than we do. So for the last 3 weeks, we've been reading at like 8 a.m. Eastern time, but then Sunday it's going to switch back to 7 a.m. So most of the year it's at 7 a.m. Eastern time, just those few time change weeks
Yeah,
are a little wonky. And then we follow it, with the gym time. I've been, like I said, we're at 262 days. And then I come here because Project Joy, in case you didn't know, is a great thing to include in your morning routine, at least on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And there's so many episodes that have been done over the last, this is season 5 or 6, something like that. There's so many episodes that on the days we're not here, you could go pick a different one and listen to that as part of your morning routine as well. So it's important, I think, to pick those things that make you feel good and don't listen to what everybody else says. This is like the thing. But I do have one thing that I think is necessary for everybody to experience a joyful morning. And that is, drum roll, you have to want to have a joyful morning.
Woo! Yes.
I mean, I don't know how else simply to say this, but if you are determined to not be a morning person, to not have a joyful morning, guess what? You're not going to have a joyful morning. I mean, it has to start from within. It has to be some sort of something that says, hey, I want to have a joyful morning today. And now then you get to play. Then you get to go, now what does that look like for me? What do you do on those days, because we all have them, where maybe we're not committed to having a joyful morning? Maybe we wake up and we're just, as soon as we wake up, we're going to be Mr. or Miss Grumpy Pants. And what do you do on those days? Do you just buckle down and go, well, I'm just not going to have a joyful morning then? Or is there anything that you could do to turn that around for yourself?
Well, one, acknowledging it. You can throw yourself a pity party or something, because now you're acknowledging what it is. You're inviting in your support team or whatever, whether it's your spirit support team or your friends, and then you're limiting it. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a pity party and be mad about this or sad 10 minutes, and I'm going on with my day. And then you do it, and then it's like, all done with that,
I think it's important too to let moments be moments, because the truth is, even if we wake up and we commit and we go, I'm going to have a joyful morning, that doesn't, I want to get it out there so that you're aware of this. That doesn't guarantee that everything else is just going to be perfection. Because I can think of morning. Do you ever have a morning where you stub your toe and then next thing you know, you're shutting your finger in the door and you drop something in the kitchen, and it just sort of snowballs from there, because we don't allow moments to be moments. We like stub our toe and go, well, is this the kind of day I'm going to have? Instead of just going, well, I stubbed my toe. That sucked. Yeah. But now let's move on. Like, let's get out of that moment. I think sometimes we don't allow moments to just be what they are, which is just a moment.
Yeah, good point. I love that. It's true. We don't have to pack everything onto it. And in fact, that moment is precious for just what it is, and whatever message you're getting out of that moment or not, and moving on. That's all.
100%. So let us know what you are taking away. Are there any shifts that you are going to make to bring even more joy to your joyful morning, or to make yourself a joyful morning? Let us know down in the comments. We're going to go and have a super quick break. And when we come back, we have birthdays to do and announcements and all that fun stuff. So we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. Today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. I'm Jessica Dugas, your host, and I'm here with a very special guest co-host today, Teresa Warren from Spirit Sessions, which you guys can catch every single Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And they always have a great guest or topic on the show. What is happening this coming Sunday, Teresa? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
It's like should have been prepared. Here we are.
Yeah, we have it's Rhonda's friend Denise, and because she's sending pictures, okay, from Japan. Okay, so she has been going to Japan. I think she was doing Reiki and things out there. Denise Carpenter, and so she went there. Okay, like you learn Western Reiki, but then there's the Japanese Reiki and stuff. So she got to go back there and learn it. And now she's going to come back and tell us what's the difference. You know, are we right off? Is there new things that we need to do or what? So I can't wait.
That's going to be a great episode because we often don't think that a lot of the practices we have, they come from somewhere, right? And a lot of times this is Jessica, 100%. I get excited about things and I just charge ahead recklessly. Like I don't go like, hey, maybe I should read the instructions. Maybe I should like whatever. And it's not to say that I don't honor things, but I think we could stand to do a little more honoring of the essence of where things come from. So I think that'll be a great episode. Yeah. So make sure you guys check that out Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be literally in the middle of 90s con craziness on Sunday, so I will not be there, but I'm hopefully maybe I'll catch it on the way home, catch the replay on the drive home. But Sarah was saying, by the way, we've been talking about the art of a joyful morning. Sarah was saying she goes for morning spirit walks, and I love that. I love that idea of going. When we first moved back here to Connecticut, I was doing more walks in the morning outside, either at a park or the beach or something like that. But then there's sometimes a year it's just cold here in Connecticut. And it's not so much the cold air as it is the wind. The air moves so beautifully by the ocean, but it's a lot some days. And so it's like, I go back to, that what we were talking about, asking yourself what you need in the moment. Do I need the wind blown look right now? I don't know. I don't know. By the way, Sharon is joining us this morning. She said, good morning. I'm late to the party. I think it is helpful to have some things that you write down to remind you what brings you joy in case you need that on mornings that feel like it's a little harder to feel that joy. Jessica, you are in your joy this morning. It looks good on you. Thank you. Teresa, wonderful seeing you here this morning too. Thank you for that comment, Sharon. And that is such a huge part of it, surrounding yourself with things that remind you of you being the joy, and joy being, such a big part of our existence. And I do the same thing here, because even as much as I find joy in hosting shows and having meetings and workshops and everything else, it's not to say that it's always easy. It's not to say that it always doesn't completely exhaust me sometimes, right? But I've got this, I've shared about this several times in the show, that I have a bulletin board that's on my wall here in front of my desk. And anytime I'm struggling during the show. So now y'all are going to pay attention to when I'm looking over here. You might know that I'm struggling. But anytime I'm struggling, I look up there and there is something on there that brings me some kind of joy, you know? So it's so important, as Sharon said, you don't even have to write them down. But that is a great suggestion, but just surrounding yourself with those things that remind you of the joy within, and also things that make you happy, because happy, as we talked about on Monday's show, can help us to increase our awareness of the joy within. And so I love that idea as well. Thank you, Sharon. All right, Teresa, we got to do birthdays. You ready?
I'll do
Here
the
we
move.
go. All right. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. In the world of celebrity today for birthdays, Diana Ross is 81 years old today. Everyone, happy birthday, Diana Ross. Actress Keira Knightley is hitting the big 40 today. Happy birthday, Keira. Actor Martin Short, 75 today. Yeah, some of these you're going to have you in your feelings. Country singer Kenny Chesney, 57 years old today. Rocker from Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, the magic number 77 today.
Woo.
7 years old. T.R. Knight, who played George O'Malley in the series Grey's Anatomy, is 52 years old today. Actress and one of my favorite actresses and comedians, Vicki Lawrence, Mama's Family, you guys remember that, 76 years old today. Vicki Lawrence is. Jennifer Grey, that played in Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller, and among other things. I'm 65 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Jennifer Grey is. And I'm still picturing her as Baby in Dirty Dancing. Like, I'm having a moment over here. And also rapper Juvenile. And this one shook me because I really did not know he was older than me, but he is hitting the big 50 today. Juvenile, 50 years old. So happy birthday. And the celebrities in my life, Angelique Jackson, that used to host Divine DNA on the Breakthrough Show Network. Angelique is having a birthday today. And also my godmother, Joan Bakari, is having a birthday today as well. So that's our birthdays, guys. You ready to get our birthday song on, Teresa?
Just about one thing. Okay.
Okay.
My woot woots, I want you to know, because it's Steven Tyler's birthday and because he's 77, I got that from that song Ragdoll. So when I do the woot woot, that's where it comes from. Ragdoll.
Oh my God. Now we're gonna have to listen to that after the show and just have a moment. I love it. So in honor of Steven Tyler and the woot woots, here's our birthdays for today. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Woot woot.
Happy birthday to you.
Woot woot.
Happy birthday, dear Diana Ross, Keira Knightley, Martin Short, Kenny Chesney, Steven Tyler, T.R. Knight, Vicki Lawrence, Jennifer Grey, Juvenile, Angelique Jackson, and Joan Bakari.
Woot woot.
Happy birthday to you.
Woot woot woot.
Woo woo. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. I hope you have an amazing celebration, no matter when you celebrate, how long you celebrate, who you celebrate with, or where you celebrate. We hope it's a great one. For the rest of this week, you guys, after we leave here, we have half day Pomodoro today. Very exciting. From 10 to 2 today. Any of our events can be found at thebreakthroughshownetwork.com. You can click the button in the middle or just bypass the whole damn site and go to breakthroughshownetwork.club, and all the rooms are laid out for you there. But our half day Pomodoro session happens in the collaborative co-working space. And then Brittany has Mindful Doodling tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's happening in the artist studio. And I will be back on Friday with my bestie Danielle Valero for our 90s Fun Friday episode on the day that 90s Con starts. You guys, it's going to be overwhelmingly exciting. Literally, as soon as Project Joy ends, we are hitting the road to go to Hartford, Connecticut for 90s Con, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm very excited that the schedule is done. So the first person we are going to meet is Matthew Lillard from Scooby-Doo, Scream movies, She's All That, 13 13 Ghosts. I could go on and on and on. Matthew Lillard is incredible, and my girls are taking a photo with him with the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine.
Yeah, that's way cool.
That is exciting. That is exciting. So we have that going on this weekend, but there will still be Soul Saturday Morning Coffee Saturday, you guys. Brittany's going to be filling in case my internet is wonky wherever I am. So make sure you come join us for that. And as we mentioned, you can see Teresa on Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light on Sunday at 12. You're going to be there for that episode, right?
Yeah, pre-recording Friday. So yeah.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. So you can see Spirit Sessions on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and every Sunday. Anything you want to leave with our audience today, Teresa?
Could I leave the affirmation?
Yes.
Okay, this is a powerful one for the day, and I'm going to make it fast because it's a long one. This is a beneficial day because I have created it as one. All things that come at me that would not be that reflection of my magnificence will be solved and handled with compassion. And they may seem difficult. They may seem like the same things that hit me every day, but not anymore, because I am going to surround myself with solution. I may not see it immediately. Every single day I'm going to do this, because as I do this every day, surrounding becomes stronger and stronger, and the solution begins. The darkness will not conquer me. I create benevolence in my life. And that's from Cryon.
Love it. I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Teresa. As we close out this beautiful morning together, I want you to take a deep breath and just remember this. There is no magic formula. No influencer approved checklist, no viral morning hack that can give you what already lives inside of you. Joy doesn't come from your alarm clock, your productivity apps, or your perfectly made smoothie. Joy begins with you. You are the joy. You are the energy. You are the presence that turns a regular morning into a joyful morning, into something beautiful. You've been gifted a brand new morning, and that alone is a reason to smile. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This is Teresa Warren, and we want to remind you that you are the joy. And I'll see you Friday, everybody. Bye. Have a good one.
I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land, where I am mostly safe, where I am mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love, because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love, so that our children are safe, so that our friends are sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.